Hello, this is Chris from Eurogamer, joined by Aoife Wilson.
Also from Eurogamer.
We really wanted to sit over there, but apparently you can't do it if you're not interviewing someone.
Yeah.
But technically I'm interviewing you.
That's true, so we should be allowed.
Yeah, right.
We got chased off, it was kind of embarrassing.
So you've just played Far Cry 5.
I have.
And we have a list of things to go through, which you've done in that video game.
I have.
So I guess where do you want to start off with? What's
Dogs.
the most important thing?
Dogs. Petting dogs.
The most important thing that happened in that game was dogs.
Yes.
Okay, alright.
You have, in the demo we played, you have a dog companion called Boomer. He runs around the map. He can use the D-pad to mark targets for him to attack. He'll go and do that. He's the goodest boy ever.
That's nice.
But the thing is, the dev told me he can die. I love and I hate games that put an animal companion in because it becomes the sole focus of all of my attention.
I was watching as you played that, and I think it was like you spotted like some deer at one point, and you just like spent the next like 5 to 10 minutes just telling your dog to chase them. Like, this is a big open world. We have a fairly limited amount of time to experience it, and he was like, you know what, I'm just gonna play
you have
the
to
dog.
test the boundaries of the combat. So I think when we did the E3 predictions list, Far Cry 5, I did say I hope that there are dogs that you can pet.
Okay,
so confirmed. There you go.
Confirmed.
Check that off the list.
All right, cool. So for people that don't like dogs, the start of this video has been probably not quite as interesting. What else did you get to do in Far Cry 5?
Okay, when the demo began, you're kind of like a very standard Far Cry experience. I was on like a bit of a ridge overlooking an enemy camp, and so liberating camps is still a thing.
Yes.
However, radio towers are not a thing.
Towers aren't in an open world Ubisoft game.
I know.
This is interesting.
So it's like a fog of war.
Okay, so more just sort of more naturally, you just find things that you explore,
which I think I kind of like. Yeah. So you're rewarded like for actually going there and finding things.
I think we're all a little tired of towers at this stage, and the towers do something kind of destructive. I think to open world games is that you focus on them instead of actually looking at the environment.
The thing is as well that he said to me in there, and that I noticed is there's no mini map either. It's just the compass at the top of the screen.
Okay, so
which is the same kind of philosophy,
I like it,
right? Like I kind of like that.
Question: who exactly were you liberating the camp from? I'm guessing from having watched the trailer and also having just watched you play the game. It's the sort of extreme fundamental cultists.
Yeah. So they're colloquially in game referred to as Peggies.
Right.
That's Project Eden's Gate.
And that's really similar to the European ratings board.
Right. Actually, because I had to stop and I asked one of the Ubisoft guys, what are Peggies again? And he was like, oh, it's the classic. And I was like, no, not that.
As in the one in the game. Okay, so those are the bad guys, right?
Yes, he said that they kind of got that name because when they were kind of like taking root in the area, they started handing out leaflets with PEG and sort of stuff on that.
When you liberated the camp, once you completed that, you then gain control of the area, right?
Yes.
And then, so what's the faction
that comes in? I'm not actually sure. They don't. I think it's just because as you kind of go around the map, which is another point actually, you as in Far Cry 4 and previously, that you can rescue hostages.
Right.
So they kind of can drive around, or you can see them taking prisoners on the side of the road, and you can stop and intervene. And I did that. One of the first times I did that because I was coming out of the camp that I just liberated, and just when I liberated it, you know how you kind of get that cutscene where it's like, ooh, wow, ooh, and people like bring down the flags, and then they spit on the flag, and then when you kind of gain control again, there's an amazing American truck with a bald eagle on the side.
Yeah, I think it was called the Widowmaker or something
so
like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then when you get in, it's got like a little vase bobblehead.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah, that was a nice touch.
So I got in, obviously I immediately got in the truck and started driving, and I saw one of these altercations happening on the side of the road. So I pulled over to try and help, shot all the bad guys, untied the woman, and I kind of I got distracted looking at the deer on the ridge or something. And she got in the truck and drove away. I was like, no good deed goes unpunished. She was just like, see you later, bye.
Thanks for rescuing me.
Just left me stranded. I was like, well, I'll not be doing that again.
Okay, that's cool. At least, so they got some kind of AI and they saw a vehicle and decided to get into it.
They were like, I'm taking that.
They didn't quite have the context that you just arrived in that vehicle.
Yeah, and also that it was a fucking badass vehicle that I wanted to earmark for myself. But so, other new things, you can go fishing.
Right, yeah, and this is another one of those great examples of like cool open world map, all these things to do. Aoife spent about 5 minutes of that fishing, because there's a fishing mini game, right?
It's awesome, and to me it seemed to play exactly like if you played Final Fantasy 15, that fishing game, where I just kind of came across a little fishing spot, picked up a rod, and you cast it.
I've been fly fishing with my dad. It is not that easy.
Is it not?
I'm so crap at it, and I was getting a little bit bitter at how quickly you were catching fish. However,
I only caught one,
and it was really, really tiny.
It was a golden trout, and it was like this size.
One of the developers was standing next to you and had a bit of a laugh at how embarrassingly small the fish was.
The
guy on the next screen to you was also fishing, caught a way bigger trout.
Listen, if anything, it should be the devs that are embarrassed for designing such a tiny fish.
So
I'm not.
What do you do with it? Is that just added to like the cooking system or something?
Well, I don't know. I heard that as people were playing, it kind of like became this meta game amongst everyone here to like try and catch the biggest fish. But I don't actually know how it'll sort of evolve in the game. I guess you can catch provisions and use
it is weird. Like fishing mini games become strangely important.
Weirdly addictive, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because like this one, it's good that you cast the line and then you can get a bit of tension, and it can snap if you're too sort of forceful with it. So it's a game of patience.
Something I noticed after you finished fishing, you had your tiny fish. You're like, well, that's embarrassing. Better go and do some Far Cry. I think you got in was there a seaplane next to?
Yes, there was. So that was kind of, for the most part, the demo was fairly open. But the one quest that I did pick up was to go and find Nick Rye, who's the pilot that you see in one of the teaser trailers. Yeah. You go to his airfield, and it's in the midst of being attacked by the Peggies. So you can help him out, and then he will say, "I need help with this quest," and he just directs you to where his seaplane is. So that quest is you go and take out some silos, and then there will be a convoy that you pick off. And once you've done that, he's like, "Oh, hey, come on back to the airfield, and we'll have a couple of beers." So once he calls you back to the airfield, you'll sort of get a couple of shots at you from behind, and it's this guy Chosen. So that kind of initiates a dogfight.
So the Chosen is like the sort of the specialists.
I guess exactly, like the elites.
The cultist faction, the Peggies.
Yeah, I guess like the enforcers of the Peggies or whatever. So he's in like this really badass red plane. And normally, honestly, I'm really bad at aerial fighting. Like at GTA,
you saw me play Battlefront 2 yesterday. Like aerial combat is difficult.
But this actually wasn't too bad. I've had a much easier time of it than I usually do, and it's not just straightforward like controls and R2 to shoot. There's missiles as well as the machine guns, and there's like a bomb view you
which
can go
uses
into.
a different camera. So
you're literally like just dropping down.
You kind of have to be careful that you are flying not towards a mountain.
Exactly. You need to kind of switch between the two, because I did find at one point that I just ran straight into the ground because I wasn't really paying attention. Spatial awareness is important when you're flying planes, apparently.
I think so. Okay, cool. So the aerial combat, which is like a big Far Cry vibe, doesn't feel too difficult.
No, it actually feels quite good, and I mean it's such a fucking gorgeous map that it's nice to have.
We were playing it on the PlayStation 4 Pro, so don't know exactly what resolution it was running at, but it looked really good.
Yeah, really good. You know what? Like honestly, when the kind of rumors started that it was being set in Montana, I did have some misgivings, because for me, Far Cry series has always been about
like more exotic
the
locations,
exotic locations,
right? Yeah.
Exactly. Like
not that Montana's not exotic. You know what I mean. I'm sorry.
But it's like wild animals that are like exciting and dangerous.
You're not going to find a rhinoceros in Montana.
No, exactly. And you're not going to find jungles or lush vegetation or whatever. But actually, I kind of like it, because although it is more familiar a setting, and we have had loads of games set in that kind of Americana sort of thing. It feels different because it's Far Cry, and Far Cry is so good at making the world feel like you can go in any direction and something will happen.
So you came away like a little more positive about its setting than
I
you thought you
did,
would.
because like even just to wander into like that guy that was just sitting on a dock fishing and hearing the country music sort of like blaring out of a radio, or trying to liberate a camp. I sort of I was running because they had the drop on me quite badly, and I sort of mantled over just some open window, and I was suddenly in a house in someone's cupboard, trying to take stuff out of all their bags and then jumping out the other window. I think that there's a lot that they could do with that.
Okay, I think that leads us on quite nicely to our last point in this video, which is something you stumbled into, like a big billboard for the Montana Testicle Festival.
The Testy Fest.
Did you see that coming?
The Testy Fest. Apparently, it's a real thing.
Yeah. So the developer very quickly stepped in. I think it's because South Park is in the other room. They're very aware it's not that kind of game. But apparently, the Testicle Festival is something that happens annually in Montana.
And so we looked it up, obviously, because we didn't believe him that it was a real thing.
Yeah. So it's I think you might want to do some research here on here, or you might not. But like people go there and eat animal testicles.
Yes, deep fried animal testicles.
And particularly what we noticed about the Montana one, don't know if this is specific to that location, is that like male and female nudity encouraged, I would say.
Which we thought would be a great setting for this game's version of the
marijuana burning.
Fields,
yeah, like the iconic
amazing.
like death mission.
Weird
This could be it. You have to like infiltrate.
Make your way through all these naked people. That would be
who are
amazing.
eating animal testicles. That's an odd image, isn't
That's
it?
brilliant.
I don't quite understand that.
I am fully on board for
I'm
it.
glad, like, that wasn't, like, they didn't mention that in the presentation. No one said anything about it. You just stumbled into a billboard, and the developer's like, it's a real thing, it's a real thing.
Promise.
We got this up. But yeah, that's our first sort of initial impressions of playing some Far Cry 5. I'm really bitter that interview slot is now
Nobody's even
open.
using
We
it
can be
right
saying that. Look how comfortable the sofas look.
This is a really not comfortable stool. I mean, my bum's kind of getting a little bit numb right now.
Alright, so I think that is everything for Far Cry this time. Yeah, we have a bunch of other stuff that we've done at E3 so far. We're here all week, and
Here all week.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, at this Ubisoft event, we've just played South Park, The Fractured Butthole.
And if you enjoy testicle talk, let me tell you,
no.
why not check that out?
I had to say the word "cum" so many times.
We're never going to be able to work in this industry again.
Yeah, that's it. We're screwed. But yeah, some other videos will be up here now if you'd like to watch some. If not, we'll see you soon. Have a nice E3. Goodbye.